"Come in," Ed Piazza said in response to a knock on his office door. His secretary stuck her head into the room. "Leopold Cavriani is here, Mr. President," she said. "Send him in, please." Ed pushed aside the papers he'd been looking at, opened one of the desk's drawers and pulled out a file folder. Then, with a peculiar expression on his face, part interest, part exasperation, he handed it to Esteban Miro. The new chief of intelligence for the president of the state of Thuringia Franconia half rose from his chair across the desk to accept the folder. It was rather on the thick side. "What's this?" he asked. "One of the more, adventurous projects left to us by our departed former prime minister." Miro raised an eyebrow and resumed his seat. Given that the former official in question, Mike Stearns, was not known to be risk-averse, to put it mildly, this promised to be interesting. A man was ushered into the room. Esteban recognized him, although they'd never spoken to one another at any length. He was Leopold Cavriani, a close associate of Piazza and the person generally considered in charge of the far-flung and extended Cavriani family's commercial enterprises. The association in question was a rather grey and shadowy business. Piazza used Cavriani as an informal go-between and facilitator as well as a confidant. The president waited until Cavriani had taken a seat before proceeding. "You can find all the details in the folder, Esteban. For the moment, let me summarize the matter." He leaned back in his chair. "A little over a year ago, we were approached by a Dutchman named Jan van der Glinde." Miro cocked his side slightly. "We, meaning?" "Not me initially. I only found out about this when Mike Stearns handed the matter over to me, along with—" again his expression indicated interest and, this time more than a little exasperation, "about 8 jillion others." Miro nodded his understanding. The United States of Europe had a parliamentary system. Under it, the opposition party formed a shadow cabinet when it was out of power so that it would be ready to take charge of government should political fortunes turn in its favor. In this instance, though, there was a peculiar twist. The man who would normally be the recognized head of the opposition, Mike Stearns, was now a general in Gustav Adolf's forces fighting in Poland. Given that it was impractical for him to play any direct role in the affairs of the 4th of July party, leadership of the opposition had fallen partly to Stearns's wife, Rebecca, and partly to Ed Piazza.